It's insane to me. I understand that the CNCs have been around for a while, and I understand what they do. You design it in the computer and then the machine cuts it out, but it's a completely different thing. Having this machine in front of me and it being one of my thoughts, I want a stool. I model it up in 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden 15 minutes later I have this stool. I'm actually sitting on it right now. It's crazy to me, and the best way that I can put it is I feel like it's a modern day printer. It's printing my thoughts. It's not cheesy. I actually got goosebumps because it's pretty spectacular, the technology and the capabilities that this gives me, gives anybody. It's magical. Yeah. Oh, very cool. It's a little thing.
Did they make that Swift? Did they color match it?
Oh, they must have. They must have. What? They color matched the Swift to match my logo. That is so cool. Find out, picture us above my logo. Hey there, my name is April Wilkerson, and I have the Laguna team here with me in the hill country of Texas. I just got my brand new 4x8 Laguna Swift CNC machine, and they're going to show me how to set it up and use it.
Hey, I'm Robert with Laguna Tools, and today I'm going to show April how to use your CNC. Now that I've set up the CNC, we're going to go through software. You ready, April?
I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and create a new file. So click on here. This is where you go ahead and enter your width, your height, your thickness of the material. You set your Z0 to the bottom of the material and set your origin, also known as a datum position here, which is the lower left-hand corner. We're working with 4x8, so we're going to switch this over to 96, and everything else is perfect. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, perfect. We're going to hit OK. All right, so we're going to go ahead and import the vectors. We're going to my desktop, and it's going to be the sawhorse right here, and open. So you got that imported there. Any questions so far?
Nope.
We want to make sure everything is nice and closed, so we should be fine on there. We double checked. So now we're going to go ahead and pin this down, make sure we can work on this. And then first thing we have to do is we do have to work inside and out. So we're going to go ahead and do the first inside cutouts. We're going to be here, so we're going to hold down Shift and select all our holes. All right, once we have them selected, we're going to go into your toolpath operation. It's going to be the first icon, which is profile toolpath. And our cut depth is going to be 3/4, and we're going to add just 2 thou, make sure we cut sufficient through the material. So next we're going to go ahead and select our tool. We're going to go ahead and select the 1/4" end mill. Parameters have already been installed, so we're just going to hit OK. Yet again, we want to make sure we select inside cut, which is selected, and we're good with none of those. We're going to go down and straight to ramp, and we want to make sure we check that on. Okay, once that is checked on, we're going to go ahead and hit calculate, hit OK, and then we'll go ahead and see the preview. All right, once that has been taken care of, we're going to go back to 2D view, go through your logo. So we're going to hit close on the right hand side, select your logo, hold down Shift to multi-select, go into the V-carve. Yet again, we're not going to touch anything. The setting's already done. Tool has been inserted. So we're going to go ahead and hit calculate, press play to see the preview, and the logo has been done. Now we want to go ahead and cut out the whole part now. So we're going to go back to 2D view. We're going to go ahead and select the outside. So we're going to go ahead and hold down Shift, start selecting what we want to be cut out. Then once we do, we're going to go back to the right hand side and hit close. Yet again, we're going to use the same profile toolpath we've been using, but now we're going to do an outside cut. So we're going to go down here and select outside, and we are going to change our tool for one more time. So we're going to select, and we're going to go ahead and select the 3/8 compression. All parameters have been installed already, so we're going to hit OK. We're going to go ahead and add on, we're going to add a ramp, and then hit calculate. Same warning is going to pop up. We're just going to hit OK. And there we go.
Cool.
Parts are done. get it.
Are you gonna get it?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, so day one, going over the software, I was relieved to see that I was already gonna be able to understand the concepts because it was very similar to the modeling package that I do all my CAD modeling in. So it was, I guess it added to the anticipation and the excitement because I was like, oh, this is one step closer to being able to actually cut something out and utilize this machine.
So yesterday we went over software, and today we're going to go ahead and do a little walk around the machine and explain how to operate it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn on the unit. First thing you want to go ahead and do is basically this main disconnect here at knee level. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. After power has been applied to the VFD, we're going to go ahead and turn on the key switch. Once that has been done, there's going to be an on button. You want to go ahead and press that on, initializing power to the whole machine. Once the controller has come to a full boot up sequence, it's going to basically prompt you with this page. We do want to go ahead and hit all axis home, so we're going to hit OK. Machine's going to move on the X and the Y position just shortly. Sorry about that. Okay. At this point, you have full axis of the whole machine. We will go ahead and move it over, whichever one we want. X and Y movement. You got your Y as well, your X, Z, and you got also your set X and Y and set Z. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Perfect here. So we're just going to set this down for a bit. We do have an E-stop here. If you're ever at any moments here, we want to go ahead and press that down. Just go ahead and slam on that. It's going to turn off power to the whole machine. At this point here, we do want to go ahead and untwist it, turn on the power one more time, and let the controller fully boot up and home it one more time. All right, April, since we did a little walk around of the machine, now we're going to go ahead and explain how to insert a tool into the spindle. So the first thing you want to go ahead and do is grab your collet nut, then grab your collet. Make sure you use the same diameter shank for the tool you're going to use. We're going to use the fly cutter, so it's going to be a 1/2 inch shank. We're going to go ahead and insert the collet into the collet nut by pressing down. Make sure it snaps into place. Once you have that, make sure you go ahead and thread it into the actual holder. Once you go ahead and give it a couple threads inside, you're going to grab your tool, and then they do have an indicator. You want to make sure you go ahead and slide it to that position there. Once it's at that position, go ahead and fully tighten that up. Go ahead and use your 2 wrenches here. Go ahead and tighten that down. And then the final thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and insert it into the spindle. So you want to go ahead and come crouch down here. Go ahead and insert to the set screw. And then the final thing is just lock that little cap in place. Yep.
Day 2 was all cutting. It was, well, kind of like learning more of the software, taking what I learned and was just watching and now putting it into action, which is of course a really good way of permanently absorbing the information. And then it was a lot of cutting and then prototyping and trial and error. Okay, that needs to be a little bit larger in order to connect together. And then just learning how to zero out the machine and move down a whole sheet of plywood and doing multiple projects. Yeah, lots of bits and bobs, but overall cutting and just learning the software. Oh, cool. First part. All right, it's day 3, and I feel pretty confident that I understand what I need to do with not only the machine, but also the controls. So here goes my first cut, solo. I mean, it's like any other tool that you pick up for the first time. It's like, what does this thing do? How exactly do I operate it? And then you do it once, then you do it twice, and you're like, okay, this is not beyond me to learn or to use. And so now I'm thinking, my mind is racing with the ideas on, I understand now what the capabilities are of this machine. Now my mind is racing with all of the things that I could put it to use on. It's difficult to understand and grasp where I might be with this machine in the future, because right now I'm just doing like small things. It's like anything, you snowball into it. The more your confidence level grows, the more your skill level grows. It just starts opening up these creative avenues, the more projects you take on, and then you're like, oh, well, if I could do this, then I can do this, but if I could do these, then I can do that. And it's just, I have no idea where it's gonna go, but I'm very excited to start trying it all out.